Hey, what is going on, everybody? I just recently received this Tesla wall connector Gen 3 in the mail, and I started to kind of open it and look at it. I posted a pic on Twitter and some people wanted a banana for scale, so I put that in the box, but I noticed it's a really nice box, a really nice presentation here, so I figure before going any further, let's do an unboxing and check this out. If you don't know, we are planning on getting a second Tesla. Right now we have a Model X on order that's coming in October. Small possibility we'll change that to a Y, but most likely we're keeping the X. And so, yeah, we needed another way to charge. So I currently use the mobile connector with my Model 3, but when we get our next Tesla, I'm going to be parking outside. I currently park inside. My wife will be parking in the garage. She'll be using our NEMA 1450, which is 32 amp, and I will put this outside. You can put it inside or outside, and you can charge with this. So that will be my charger. It goes up to 48 amps, but let's open it up and we will talk about some of the specs after we open it up. So the top opens kind of towards you like this. You have a nice picture of the wall connector on the front there. If I move it out of the way, you can not see because it's upside down actually. Let me turn it around and it looks really nice. It's this nice glass finish on the front. Decently heavy box here. So that's the wall connector, and you really can't see anything else, which is just a really nice way to show this. You can pick it right up out of there. Make sure the camera looks good here for you. This is where the charger connects when you're not using it. You can put the charger in there. Nothing on this side, just a sticker with some warnings. On the top here, you can open up the back and put some wiring in there. I'm hoping that we're gonna put it in the back here. My buddy is actually a master electrician. He's gonna come install this, and I will make a video of the installation process. Some people DIY, but he is really smart and I don't wanna mess with electricity. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna be hooking it up with 48 amps, 60 amps, and then it can do 48 continuous. So yeah, let's get this out of the box here. What do we have to do? Okay, so this part just comes out. Nothing else back there. This is just some cardboard. Already getting like little fingerprints and stuff on here. Is that me, or was these little smudges on here? I don't know if that was me or not. Maybe when I had it open earlier, the dogs were sniffing it, so maybe that's from their noses. And then you can see the cable back here. Hopefully you can see that okay. I think this is a little bit thicker than my mobile connector, but not much. The weight is not too bad. And that's the whole unit. So you can see here, this is the part that you, of course, plug into the car to charge the car. You can take this protective sleeve off. Ooh, that is nice. That is sleek. That looks a lot nicer than the mobile connector. So make sure this is focusing here for you. Yep, that looks good. So yeah, this is the button you can press. Hopefully you can hear that click. So that's the button you press to open your charge port or to remove the charger from your car. Of course, it's just a normal Tesla plug there that connects in. The cable length is 18 feet. Again, we'll talk about specs in a minute. 18 feet is the longest you can get with the Gen 3. Not bad, not as good. The mobile connector, I think, is a little longer than that, actually. And the Gen 2 was much longer at 24 feet. So this is a little guide you get for when you're installing. If you do top or bottom entry of the wires, you can line this up with your bracket, and that's where you'll install the wall connector. If you're going to do rear entry on the left or the right, then it tells you, where to line it up. And again, I hope we're going to be able to, I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to put these wires into the back for that nice clean look. Everything's going to go through the wall, I'm pretty sure. And then you have a little booklet on quick start guide, how to install it, some guidance on where to put it. I'm still not fully decided on where I want it. I think I know where I want it, but then the way the cars would be arranged, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm putting it on the outside of my garage. I'll show a picture. I think I want to put it on the right side just because I don't want to park closer to the front door. I'm going to put it under the light on the right side there. So these are the tools and things you'll need. Of course, my electrician friend will have all of that. And then here's just a couple more guides. Tesla also has way more detailed information on the website and videos to help you install this, which I've already sent to my buddy, and he's watched all of that and said, should be pretty simple. He does lots of industrial installs of things. Oh man, that's a little heavy. And so he's used to this kind of stuff. So that's it. Now the box is empty. That is all. So let's talk about the difference between this Gen 3, which is $500, a little expensive in my opinion, but it's really nice, and it of course is gonna look nice and do a good job. Gen 3, which is what we're looking at here, Gen 2, the old wall connector, and then the mobile connector. I think it should be compared to that as well, because the mobile connector is a lot cheaper and does almost the same thing for you, and kind of comes with the car. You need to buy an adapter, but we'll talk about those differences and if this is really for you or not. Okay, so I went and grabbed my mobile connector so we can just compare the look and the size and everything. Here's the wand that plugs into the car. The gray one is the mobile connector. The black one is the wall connector that you cannot move or bring with you. They're pretty much the same size, of course. The black looks a little nicer in my opinion, but that could just be because I'm used to the gray one. Buttons are exactly the same. Got the Tesla logo on both, so no real major difference there. Everything with the internals also looks the same. The plugging part, again, mobile, wall connector. And then the body, of course, is much smaller. You got the Tesla logo on there. And the big feature here is you can change the adapters. So I have my NEMA 1450 on here, which is the fastest you can get with the mobile connector. This gives my Model 3 about 29, 30 miles an hour. You can pull this out and you can change to different adapters if you like. So this part comes with the car and comes with a NEMA 515 adapter, and that's standard with the car. Actually, when I bought my Model 3, this 1450 adapter came with it as well. Now you have to buy this separately, but it's only $30. All of the adapters, they're $30 each for any adapter you want, and then you can get charging speeds ranging from 5 miles per hour of charging up to the 29 to 30 miles per hour of charging with the Model 3. Of course, those numbers are different for different Tesla vehicles. So you can just change to whatever adapter you want for whatever situation you're in. This is great. You can unplug it, bring it with you on road trips, use it pretty much anywhere. So that's really nice. And then the big feature here, of course, my cable is dirty, dirty Tesla. That's everything's going to be dirty. The big thing here between these two that I like a lot more with the mobile connector is the cable is longer. The cable length on the mobile connector is actually 20 feet versus the 18 feet on the Gen 3 wall connector. In my opinion, a little ridiculous that they would make the wall connector even less than this. It's only 2 feet, but in some situations that's gonna make a difference. And I really am jealous of those Gen 2 wall connector people who have 24 feet of cable length. Now it might be a little unruly if you don't need all that room, but I think the more cable you can get, the better. You also can order this Gen 3 wall connector with an 8-foot cable instead of the 18-foot. And I think for home use, that doesn't make much sense. That's probably more for businesses that want to have really strict parking. You could only kind of be in one spot to plug into the charger. So as far as charging speeds go, again, this will go up to 32 amps. That's the most you can get, and that's the setup I have right now with this one. The wall connector goes up to 48 amps, so you need a 60 amp circuit to get the full 48 amps. But what's nice is if you cannot do that much of a charge, you can set this internally, or your electrician, whatever, can set this so that it will only go up to a certain amount of amps. So if you can only do 32 amps like this one, you can put a 50 amp socket in, and then you'll only go up to 32 amps with this as long as you have all the settings correct. So this can kind of adapt to your power limits if you have those. In my house, I have a 200 amp panel. It's actually right over there. You can see my 200 amp panel. It's my solar inverter. Anyway, and so I have room to do the full 60 amp. Have I been saying 60 amp this whole time? I hope so. The full 60 amp, so I can get the full 48 amp out of here. You need 6-gauge wire recommended by Tesla, all that good stuff. So now between the wall connector Gen 3 and the wall connector Gen 2, the biggest thing is the Gen 2 can do 80 amps, which is a lot more. Now, if you're charging overnight, just like going to work every day and stuff, it doesn't make that much of a difference, to be totally honest. But if you're in a hurry, you will get some more charge a bit quicker with the Gen 2. But at this point, Gen 2s are on eBay for like $700, $800, $1,000, $1,100. I think that's ridiculous, and no way should you pay that premium. If you can get them for the same price, and you really need the longer cable, you really need the faster charge, like say you have a Model X, so maybe you need more of a charge than a Model 3, maybe it's worth it. But the other big thing with the Gen 3 is that you have Wi-Fi connectivity on this one, and it can receive over-the-air software updates. You can manage the charging through Wi-Fi, which I don't know why you really need that, because you can manage it already on your phone through your car, but you can do that. The Tesla wall connector can also interface with solar and Powerwall to kind of manage your charging depending on how much solar energy is coming in and Powerwall energy you have and things like that. Now the cable on the Gen 3 is also a bit thinner than the Gen 2, which makes sense if you have less power going through it. So it will be a little lighter, easier to work with. Another big capability, which for home use, I don't think probably matters really at all, but you can connect, I think it's up to 16 of these through Wi-Fi, and they can do kind of the load sharing. So if you have a bunch of Teslas plugged in all at once, like you have 10, but you can't provide enough power to fully charge them all at the same time, it can even out that load. You could do this with the Gen 2 as well, but you had to daisy chain them. And for 2 or 3 or 4, I think that's, good for home use. There are people out there, I'm sure, have 4 Teslas and maybe want to plug them all in at the same time. Then those Gen 2 or Gen 3 wall connectors can all communicate. But if you need more than 4, again, like for a business, then this is the solution you would have to or want to go with. And then the price is the same for the Gen 2 and the Gen 3, at least they were through Tesla, but now the Gen 2 is not sold from Tesla anymore, so you'd have to pay a lot of money to get one on eBay or something like that. And then the other big feature with the Gen 3 is, again, the Wi-Fi. It can get software updates, improvements, maybe improve efficiency or add features in the future over time. One thing I'm really, really, really hoping for, probably with Cybertruck, or who knows, maybe even SNX coming up, the refresh, that this will have vehicle to grid. Ford announced it with the F-150, where with their proprietary charger, if you have it installed and the power goes out, you can power your house with the battery in your car. I'm really hoping that a future software update via Wi-Fi for this wall connector will enable some type of feature like that so that I could power my house with my Tesla's battery in case of a power outage. That would be huge. That would be totally amazing. Now, kind of the final thing I want to talk about on here is this worth it? $500, again, like I said near the beginning, I think that's pretty expensive, but it is a really nice unit. You get the aesthetics of it. You get all of that. You get higher charging speeds than the mobile connector, not that much more, but you do get more. But the thing is, you could just install another NEMA 1450 outlet, which if you do it yourself, I don't think is very expensive. I think it should cost you less than $100. You could get another mobile connector from Tesla, which I believe those are $300, and then you could get whatever adapters you need up to 32 amps. So of course that's a personal decision. Aesthetics play into it, a big role for some people, no role for other people. I just thought this would look nice on the outside of the house. It was something I wanted to set up. I didn't really want to put a NEMA 1450 on the outside. I don't know, just thought it would be nice and look cool. I'm happy with the look so far. I cannot wait to get it installed on the house. If you want to see the installation, make sure you are subscribed so you will see that. That should be in a week or 2, and I will put that video up as soon as I can. If you're trying to make a decision on if you need the wall connector or not, versus maybe the mobile adapter, if you're buying your first Tesla and you don't have another electric car, most likely your best option is just going to be to stick with the mobile connector. You can get this $30 adapter or any other adapter that fits into your house. If you don't have a NEMA 1450, getting that installed will be way cheaper than buying the wall connector and having that installed. If you already have an electric car and maybe you're using your big outlet in your garage, or it's your second Tesla or something, I think the wall connector makes a lot more sense. This is actually $275, I said $300 earlier. So you could buy this for much cheaper, but if you have to install a plug as well to go with it, then it doesn't make as much sense unless you need to travel with it a lot to get this over the wall connector. Now, if you're going to be doing a lot of traveling, especially with this type of outlet, this is not really recommended to be plugged in and unplugged very often. So you would want to get a second mobile connector and plug that in. If you have any questions about this Gen 3 wall connector or really anything about charging your Tesla, feel free to leave questions down below. I will be happy to answer those. Hope you enjoyed this one, and you will see me in the next video.
So Autopilot and I are happily driving along